Everybody. We are really excited about getting into conference play this week. For us, this is our next goal to win the division, and I think this is 7 years in a row we've opened up conference play on the road. I'm not sure how we got so lucky with that, but it is what it is. But so it's a challenge, and so to win the division, you've got to be able to win on the road, and you get 8 conference games. You get no mulligans, man. They all count. They all matter. They're all huge. And then you throw in the fact that it's Clemson, Georgia Tech, and one of the better rivalries in this conference, in my opinion. So just a lot at stake on Saturday. And first quarter of our season is over. I think we've learned a lot. I think that we still got a lot of improving to do, and I think we got an eager bunch to do just that, coaches and players, to get better, man. And we're excited about kicking off the second quarter and the challenge that's coming our way Saturday in Atlanta, a place that we really haven't had a ton of success, but this senior class has got a unique opportunity, and they take a lot of pride in their legacy here, and I know that we'll get a tremendous effort from our guys to hopefully play our best game. That's really what our goal is this week, is to apply the lessons that we've learned from the first 3 games. That's what wisdom is, right? It's the application of knowledge. So let's take the knowledge that we've gained from 3 games and let's play with some wisdom. Let's apply it on game day, and let's get better, and let's kick off the second quarter in a really positive way, and by playing our very best football game of the season. That's really what I'm looking for. So I think we're off to a good start. Good meetings around here Sunday and Monday as coaches, and then last night on the field with the guys. I think that they're locked in. They're excited about getting into conference play as well. And, it's amazing how the days just start clicking. And here we are into game 4, second quarter. So trying to enjoy all of the journey, too, as we go through it. But Georgia Tech is a good football team. I know they're 1-2. And a lot of times that's where people make a mistake, is they just kind of look on a piece of paper and they see a record and they go, okay, well, and it just doesn't work that way. There are no easy outs, and Georgia Tech is one of the most difficult teams that you will play. And we know that because we play them every year, and it is always an incredibly stressful week to play these guys. They do a great job. South Florida's a good football team. And there were some crazy plays in that game. It was kind of back and forth. It was I guess it was less than a 1-score game till right at the end, and they scored late to put it up. I mean, it was that game could have gone to either team. Both teams played incredibly hard, and then same thing at Pitt. 24-19, I think, was the score. 1-score game. They're right there in position to win the game. They had some mishaps. They had a fake punt that didn't go their way, and ended up getting beat on the road. So they've had two tough losses on the road, but their team has played incredibly hard, and now they're back at home and they're getting an opportunity to play Clemson. And so we know that we've got a huge task in front of us this week. Paul does, like I said, as good a job as anybody in getting his guys ready to play. And defensively, they got a new defensive coordinator who came from App. He does a good job. They've got a good scheme, and offensively, they've played 2 quarterbacks, and both of them are dangerous. I mean, both those guys can flat out run and find the creases. They're throwing the ball, I think, about 17 times a game. And they've hit some huge plays, massive plays, which typically when they complete one, that's usually what happens. It's usually a big-time chunk type play. So that'll be the challenge for us. It's always a challenge defensively to be disciplined. And we did a pretty good job last week. We had a couple times where we didn't have our eyes on the right things, and guys got behind us. And you can't get bored doing your job when you maybe don't have a lot of action on the back end. You've got to You've got to stay locked in, and then obviously winning up front, staying on our feet, and taking on the cut blocks and not letting guys get to the second level, having great pursuit. Because when you do, that's where a lot of the big plays come from is you'll do a good job on the front side of a play, but you maybe got cut on the backside or you're not quite pursuing like you need to, and then boom, here goes that quarterback cutting up in a crease for 30 yards on you. And maybe it would have been a 10-yard gain. So there's just a lot of things that we've got to do a great job of to give ourselves a chance. And then offensively for us, getting back to the first couple games and taking care of the football. So we all know what happened last week. Trevor jinxed us, but what I'm hoping you'll say this week is that, Georgia Tech's doing a great job of taking care of that ball. It's amazing what they're doing, and maybe we'll have some reverse psychology or something. But no, seriously, just got to take care of the ball. I mean, we do a good job with that and win the margin. We might have a turnover somewhere, but let's win the margin. Because when we do, good things usually happen for us. But there's a lot of positives going on right now and a lot to build on as we get into this next phase of our journey here, conference play.
Coach, how did Kelly look at practice yesterday?
He's good. He's good.
Yeah, but you remember, was it really soon after you took over that you decided prep for Georgia Tech's flex fund was going to be a year-round thing?
Yeah. My first year. Well, y'all know my first week. I've never been around a triple option in my life, not a day in my life. I grew up in the I formation, and it's what I played in. It's what I started my coaching career in. I could coach it today. It's ingrained in me. And then kind of got into the spread stuff in '98. We started doing some of that stuff, and then when I came to Clemson, we were four wides, no tight end half the time, and throwing it every snap. So I've kind of been across the board, but I'd never been around triple option. And then, I get the job on a Monday, and oh, by the way, we're playing a triple option team on Saturday, and it's Paul Johnson's first year. Nobody knows anything about it. So it was, I learned. And then we go, my first full year, we win the division, and we play in the championship down there at Tampa. And, Spiller got the MVP of the game, and we lost. We couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop us. Nobody punted in the game. And they went 86 yards for the game-winning drive. I think they went about three or four fourth down conversions on us. And, I learned real quick, if we're going to have a chance, we're going to have to make this a part of what we do around here. And so we do. I mean, we if you don't, you're going to be behind the eight ball. And we just want to always, we need to always be able to have a recall, and just keep option football in front of them as far as the things that they're going to see when you play a team. Because we play them every year. It's a huge game for us. It's a rival game. So we get ready for all of our opponents every year, but they're very unique. And so some of your base things don't really apply. You kind of got to forget everything from a defensive standpoint. So, we started a long time ago. Let's have a Georgia Tech period in the spring, Georgia Tech period during fall camp, and just enough to just kind of teach the principles that we need and some of the fundamentals that you have to play with to have a chance. And so, we certainly have gotten better over the years, for sure.
How odd is it, Dabo, that you've played three option teams right off the bat here and early in the season? How much has those two previous experiences maybe helped for Georgia Tech this week?
Well, I think it helps, definitely. I mean, it'd be crazy to tell you that doesn't help because you've had to spend a lot of practice time defending, even though they're different. I will say that. Everybody thinks option teams are all the same, and it's like a one-stop shop, and it's not. Furman and Georgia Southern and Georgia Tech are very different. I mean, it's all ice cream, but it's strawberry and chocolate and vanilla, and it's different flavors of how they go about it, and so that's a challenge. And then Georgia Tech it's the ACC football team. They got some really talented players that are playing at a high level. So And then Paul Johnson's as good as it gets. I mean, he's as good as it gets when it comes to having answers for what you do. So I think it helps fundamentally and just how you have to play, the physicality you have to play, the mindset that you have to have. But it also helps them. Because you think about it, usually when they play us every year, they don't have anybody to study us on but themselves, right? So it works both ways. Because now they've got 2 games to study Clemson on how we defended certain things. So it's a double-edged sword that way.
You mentioned you guys have gotten better, it seems like, lately against Georgia Tech. What do you think is the biggest reason why you guys have shut them down or had so much success the last few years?
You know, the games are always tough. I wouldn't say we've shut them down. I mean, they've hit some big plays on us, and I just think that, you know, like I said, we've just been better that day. I mean, I've had really good teams that have lost. And I've had some teams that maybe weren't as good as some of the teams that lost win. But we just been better that day. We've done the things that we needed to do on that particular day to win the game, whether it be turnover margin, penalties, out big playing them, you know, being fundamentally sound, physical at the line of scrimmage. Those are the type of things that you got to do if you're going to have a chance to win this game.
Talk about how odd is it to face 2 defensive coordinators in consecutive weeks that came from App State, and what do you know of Nate Woody and his defense? Yeah,
well, it's I guess unique, and they're similar. They're obviously coming from the same tree and background, so they do some similar things, studying